It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NHL.
Favor, cross ice. Hughes has a lane, walks it, fired one. They score! Quinn Hughes from the left circle. Banked it in. It's intercepted by Terry. Rattles it off the glass to the point. Poked ahead to center ice. Leo Carlson looks at the empty net. He scores!
You just try to do what, makes you successful throughout the game, throughout the series. You learn their team's, instincts and things that they like to do, and you try to break that down and just get better each game at that. And I think just, playing our game.
There's Clayton Keller on Game 6. What have the Mammoth learned? What are they going to do tonight? It's an elimination game. The Vegas Golden Knights trying to end it, close it out. Utah trying to send it back for Game 7 Sunday in Sin City. PK, you got the question up, and we will get to this in our next segment, but really the only thing people care about now, can they force a Game 7? One way or another, whatever it takes. Outscore them, get locked in some defensive struggle, just walk away with one more goal and force a Game 7. Can they do it?
Yeah, Clayton Keller was too reasonable, too logical right there. I know a guy drives me nuts when he does that. I would have said, we are going to shock the world. Nobody believes in us. No one except the guys in this locker room, and we're going to show them.
All right, so we have a lot of logic, and we have a lot of reason, and we have a lot of emotion in all these comments. We'll get to most of them, but because it is the story of the day, let's hit a couple now. Massimo Del French. They've got a big chance to win. The Wild upset Dallas. The Ducks upset Edmonton. If Boston upsets Buffalo, there's going to be the year of the upset, so we will upset Vegas.
Villanova beat Georgetown. You can go on and on.
And then Tony, since we lost 2 games in OT, could have gone either way in both. I say 75% chance tonight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And finally, this is for this. I don't know if Scott's from Jersey, but he should be, because you always say, don't tell me you knew what was going to happen. In Jersey, it's like, have you got a ticket or not? Don't talk to me about what you knew. Do you have a ticket or not? Put your money where your mouth is. And Scott says, I put a deposit in for round 2 luxury suites. Ooh. What does that say to you about my confidence? Scott has put his money where his mouth is.
75% is pretty good, but if I told you that you were getting on an airplane that had a 25% chance of crashing, would you get on?
I wouldn't be so happy with that. I would not be excited about that. My confidence in the airline industry is hovering around 100%. Day after day, there's no stories. I like it that way. No stories yesterday, no stories the day before that, no stories the day before that. Once upon a time, I stood out on the, I guess it wouldn't be the playground because it was junior high, on the PE field. And I sat on this mesa in San Diego, and I looked up, as did the whole class, thought, that's a lot of smoke over there. And it was a tragic midair collision in San Diego. And you don't really stop thinking about that stuff, man. That just, I can close my eyes and see that smoke right now. The airline industry is at they're not 100%, but they're awfully close. And you don't forget that one.
So it was a tragic one, not just a run-of-the-mill one.
Exactly. It wasn't like a crash landing. It was a crash. A lot of times you hear, it was a near-air disaster, and they had to foam the runway, and but people didn't,
Okay, suppose you had someone who was close to you with a medical condition, and they said this person has an 80% chance of survival.
Well, when you walk into those kind of appointments, since we both have experience in that area, I suppose that it depends on whether you thought the odds were 8% or 98%. It goes against whatever your gut is in that moment. If you're expecting 8 and they tell you 8, you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, we all want to hear 100. But we don't even want to go to that appointment.
Suppose you go to the dog track
appointment,
and you want to bet on a greyhound, and it has a 75% chance. Are you taking it?
See, then that's where you and I are standing at the track, allegedly, if that ever happened. And you'd be like, you're going to take the 75%. You always bet on the favorite. You'd be all over me for doing that.
Yeah, it's just funny. Painting different scenarios, you feel different about the same number.
I totally agree. Totally agree. I think a lot of it does go to expectations. What are your expectations? And actually, I thought pretty good with the 75% because I was thinking it seems like these games are almost all coin flips except for Game 3.
Right.
Now, they have won 3 of the 4 coin flips, and the one multi-goal coast to the finish line, have a lot of confidence game in this series was Game 3, and the Mammoth won it. So maybe they just aren't as good in close, tight games.
Not yet.
Right. Or maybe it's coin flips and the flips. If we flipped a coin right now, even though it'd be 50-50 in the long run, it might be 3-1 after 4 coin flips. And who's to say they don't come out with a ton of emotion and do what they did in Game 3?
They should.
Yeah. All right, we've got much more on this coming up. Stay with us. It's the question today. Tons of reaction from all of you about Game 6 tonight at the Delta Center. And it's scheduled to get underway at 8 o'clock. We know it'll be 8:15 or 8:20. It's just like a college football thing. Same thing. Doubleheader. When does the game before it end? How long do they hold the start? Pregame show starts at 7 here on The Zone. The winner of this series plays Anaheim. Anaheim beat Edmonton 5-2. They win the series 4-2. Edmonton just given up way too many goals. They gave up 4 goals in the 2 games they won, but they gave up 22 goals in the 4 they lost. Their defense, or lack thereof, sends them home. Minnesota knocked out Dallas, so Minnesota's going to play Colorado in the other second-round series in the West. Minnesota won that game 5-2. Dallas also gave up, I think, 18 goals in the 4 games they lost. Just couldn't get stops. Tampa Bay, Montreal, and Buffalo, Boston tonight are the early games. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
We're obviously the better team, I feel like. So just knowing that, being confident, trusting our work, just telling us to be us. You know? I just feel like from top to bottom, you can say it's an opinion, you can say I'm biased, but I just think we're the better team.
He feels like obviously the Rockets are the better team. What's the best way to respond to a group that obviously has confidence growing over there?
I don't care about like that, bro. The game is won between the 4 lines. I don't give a damn who cares. Of course you say it. Why would you say, no, we're not the better team? Like, ask one of them young guys that question. I'm too old for that.
There's LeBron on Jabari Smith Jr.'s comments. Houston down 3-0 has now made it 3-2 in that series. They've got Game 6 tonight. LeBron, just too old for that nonsense. Of course he's going to say.
He didn't say nonsense.
Out there and say, I bet we get our butts kicked tonight.
Well, I would ask LeBron, what do you think of taxing Social Security?
There you go. Now you'll get an answer. So, full disclosure, PK, I did not feel the need to be right there for the opening tip-off of an Eastern Conference playoff series. But, of course, I wondered what was going on. I turned it on, and I was too late to the party. Because when I turned that game on in the second quarter, I had stuff going on. I'm like, let's see what's going on. Knicks by 40. What? And while I'm watching, it went to 50. I've never seen anything like that. 50-point lead in the first half. That doesn't happen in the NBA playoffs.
Oh, no, it was just
shocking.
Did. That's embarrassing for Atlanta, which is, kind of a middling fan base. You got to give them a reason to go, and they go, and they're blown away. It was getting to 30 and 35, and I was counting it, and my wife had to go out. And so she was coming in and out of the room, and I'm yelling to her, it's 30, it's 33. And it's like, you're kidding me. I said, no. And so she got in the car. She goes out the door to goes in the garage, and I said, it's 45. And then she starts up the car. I text her, it's 47.
It's like she wants these things. Like she cares about the Knicks and all.
And then as she's driving out, she plays along. Okay, keep me posted. And she came back, and it was like 50, because she's gone maybe a half hour, in which, included halftime. That's 50. How come you didn't keep me posted? Oh, I thought you were just kidding. I was.
Minnesota knocked Denver out. Jokic with a good post-game bye at championship. Went out in the first round. I guess we're a long ways away. Minnesota beats it. Minnesota missing multiple guys, missing 3 guys, including their leading scorer. And it's 110-98. Minnesota holds Denver under 100 points again. I bet when we talk to David Locke at 8:30, he's going to bring up, Rudy, defense, he can still do it. Now, I don't know if he can do it in the second round. I think you and I both think he's not going to be able to do it in the second round, but he helped get him past Denver when a lot of guys were missing.
Yeah, I just think that you look at the Minnesota depth, I think it's just simply better than what Denver. Yeah. Denver, Aaron Gordon out there, and they traded Porter Jr. And their guys. They got 2 frontline guys, and Murray was off obviously, and then outside of those two frontline guys, it's like, who else? They don't have anybody. They need all their guys, and maybe they don't win the series either way, but they just don't have enough meat there with, Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson was out, and their lineup, their playing rotation is just not deep enough, whereas Minnesota's, they've got 2 or 3 guys that can come in there and sort of be interchangeable, and they just have more talent compared to Denver. Now, what do they have in the second round? If they don't have Anthony Edwards, obviously they're not going to have, what's-his-face, Steven Senzo. He already had the cast on. Looked like he might have already had surgery sitting over there. That was pretty quick. So
it just goes to there are tiers in the West, and it just looks like the top tier is the Thunder and Spurs. And the next group, Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets, Timberwolves. They have an interesting first-round series. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, as you like to say. But it's a little hard for me to see any of these teams, no matter who emerges, and obviously Minnesota has. And we'll see what happens with the Laker-Rocket series, handling the Thunder and Spurs.
Yeah,
and the Blazers and Suns, I think, are even a notch below that.
All three of those guys.
The Jazz jumping next year. Which of those 3 groups can they get into?
Those 3 teams all have major injuries.
They do.
So they really just don't have much of a chance. Maybe they wouldn't have won it either way.
I suspect they wouldn't have either way, but to your point, however big the gap was before, it's bigger now as they all miss at least a key player, if not key players.
Right. I just would have won 2 players rather than players.
Players. Well,
I just would have said, a key player or 2 rather than a key player or players.
Minnesota's down 3 now, so we'll see. But do you think the Jazz can jump into that Portland-Phoenix group, or can they jump all the way? I think we both think it. They better jump into the Portland-Phoenix group, but can they jump into that Denver, Houston, LA, Minnesota group?
Well, that is an incomplete roster right now, so I can't answer that because I know in conversation
there's more coming.
They are, literally, yes.
Yes. We don't know who they're going to add in the draft, and we talk about it every Friday with Locke. There's multiple things we expect them to try and accomplish here with the roster. All right, you got more NBA playoffs tonight. You can watch the Lakers-Rockets Game 6, I think, is the most intriguing one. But Orlando's up 3-2, trying to finish off Detroit. Can the 8 take down the 1? And Cleveland's up 3-2 on Toronto, trying to finish that series off. There's the 3 games tonight. Also, the NBA has asked the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to impose tighter restrictions on players, game officials, and team staff to ensure prediction markets don't undermine sports integrity and fan confidence. So they're just never going to be able to talk about who's in the lineup and who's out and injuries and all that stuff. What else can they do? I've never even heard of this Community Future Trading Commission.
Me either.
Yeah. All right, DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
Everything's negotiable, including already signed TV deals. Because Duke has signed one, the ACC has done, but there's this loophole. If you go play on a neutral court. So Duke is going to go play on a bunch of neutral courts, and ESPN gave it okay, saying, hey, why don't you come play in the tournaments we own? And Duke said, sure. So they're going to play in a couple tournaments, and Duke took 3 games to Amazon. They're going to get a lot of money to play UConn in Las Vegas, Michigan at Madison Square Garden, and Gonzaga in Detroit. Those 3 schools get $500,000. The story I read Duke's going to get even more than that because it's their deal. But $500,000 for those 3 teams.
Okay, how does that work with the conference? I'm not worried about ESPN. How does that work with the conference?
I don't know. I think they're all trying to negotiate in the ACC, keeping schools happy so they don't leave. I don't know that this impacts that.
Where the hell's
so I don't
Duke
know what the
gonna
conference's
go?
Motivation was.
Duke's got nowhere to go. Where are they going to go? To the Patriot League? The Colonial League? Where are they going to go?
No, I think they're going to stay put. I don't think they're a target.
Well, then BYU ought to do it. BYU TV, $500,000, $1 million.
Do it.
Right
do
there.
It. And I got to say, when I started reading that, I was a little surprised that BYU, bringing high-profile recruits, didn't get locked into one of those games. Those are 3 rock-solid opponents right there. Let's see, you got the defending national champions. You got the team who, Gonzaga or Arizona, who's been the preeminent program for the last 10 or 20 years?
Well, I'd
Gonzaga?
probably still give the edge to Arizona.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe it didn't fit into BYU's scheduling.
Maybe not, yeah. Gonzaga is playing February 20th. That is in the middle. The other ones are more traditional non-conference games, November 25, December 21. So kind of Thanksgiving, Christmas-ish stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you have a legendary ACC Pac-12 battle.
Right? DJ and PK.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
#NFL.
Cleveland Browns breaking ground on a new dome stadium for the franchise. It's going to open in 2029. Capacity is 67,500. It's going to be about 15 miles south of downtown Cleveland near the airport. And it's got a roof to let in the lights. So it's not going to be one of those dark domes. It's supposed to be a hole. So there you go. Cleveland. And I guess that means we're going to, they'll try to get the NCAA tournament and who knows what else. Cleveland's going to have a dome now, too, like Detroit and Minnesota. Maybe another Super Bowl up there in the old cold weather country.
Sweet.
DJ and PK.
#college football.
Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby's status remains in question. There has been speculation about him going to the NFL supplemental draft, but reports from the NFL say the league might not approve him to enter it due to the gambling allegations against him, as the NFL bans those who bet on their team a minimum of 2 years. So, one more thing as he tries to consider.
Well, he has no team to bet
forward
on in the NFL.
You what?
He has no team to bet on in the NFL.
Right, but the fact that he did bet on games.
Well, sure, they were going to always have to research that through and through. And then if they want him, if his talent is good enough, they spin it in a manner, oh, no, we got that covered. Yeah. I mean, they've taken on guys who've had all sorts of trouble. And still, who's the tight end who ended up killing himself from the Patriots? Yeah, I mean, that's, come on. They've had tons of guys, not tons of guys, but they've had a few guys. And so this was always going to happen. He was going to have someone vet him to the ultimate degree to make sure that...
I wonder if the middle ground is here. He's going to end up playing in the UFL or the CFL.
Depends on what they find out and what level of addiction. This is serious stuff.
DJ and PK.
#Major League Baseball.
And the 2-2. Rutschman swings it, he drives it deep left center field. Matthews back onto the warning track, leaps at the wall, and makes an unbelievable catch. Or did it go over the wall? It went over the wall! It went over the wall! Wow! Adley Rutschman sent it to the top of the fence in front of the Orioles bullpen. Matthews went crashing into the wall. It looked like he had it, and then the bullpen exploded. It's a grand slam!
Highlights from Major League Baseball. There were some runs scored yesterday. You got your grand slams. You got a bunch of teams in double digits. Orioles blowing out the Astros 10-3. Cardinals also double digits, 10-5 over the Pirates. Cardinals have won 4 in a row. They got a nice little thing going. Astros 11-5 over the Orioles, and the Brewers 13-1 over the Diamondbacks. Sometimes guys can just swing the bats, PK, and it seems contagious throughout Major League Baseball.
Yeah, what's funny is that Skeens is like 0-5 against the Cardinals.
And they roughed him up.
That didn't make any sense.
Nope. 10 runs on 14 hits. Skeens takes the L for the Pirates as the Cardinals win. The Phillies won, so Don Mattingly's Magic, they are suddenly 3-0. Beat the Giants 3-2 and 6-5 as they sweep a doubleheader. The Phillies are back. Look at the team of your youth. Here they come. What in the name of Mike Schmidt is going on around there?
Well, Schmidt happened, and it's happening again now. Harper happens.
For all their problems, at least the Phillies aren't in last place because the worst team in Major League Baseball right now, the Mets lose again. 10-21, not even winning a third of their games. They're getting back into What Casey Stengel once labeled amazing territory.
Well, the whole first month now that we're into May has been a masterpiece of you-know-what.
Yes, that it has. Bees picked up a win. They beat the Sacramento Rivercats 4-2. They play again tonight, 6:35. Tony Parks on the call. That'll be on 102.7 HD2. And the Mammoth game will be on 97.5 and 1280.
That was a masterpiece of dog shit.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag RSL.
Real Salt Lake trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak. They're hosting Portland tomorrow. Pablo Mastroeni is going to join us coming up later in the show. He will be here at 9 o'clock. They don't have a lot of losing streaks under Pablo. 3-gamer would be awfully rare. Portland is down near the bottom of the standings and has been rotating through guys with some injuries and some changes, so maybe RSL can get back on track after suffering a pair of losses.
Yeah. I mean, afternoon game. How come it's an afternoon game?
I don't know. They don't usually do that. Apple has been moving games. They kind of tweaked the TV package. They had a rare Sunday game last week. They've been breaking games out. For a while, they were putting them all at the exact same time.
I think this game is on Fox as well as Apple, so that's why they moved it up.
Okay.
Oh. Sweet, man. Fox?
2:45, this one will get underway. Pregame will start at 1:30 here on the Zone.
Okay, can I synchronize the TV with the hometown radio announcer? Because that's, I can't go without you.
Yeah, that's a good question, PK. You can on Apple on a home game.
Oh, I know I can.
Don't know about TV.
I know I can, man. I've been doing it.
I haven't. I don't know about TV. I don't know how long the signal takes to get to your house.
About 20 minutes.
Then no.
No, maybe about 10. Takes me about 10 minutes to get down to the stadium. Maybe at the 13th and 94th of that light if I don't catch it right.
You would need the radio signal to get there slower. So if you do it off the air, probably no. But if you use the signal off the stream, you might have a chance. There you go. You can really work at it, PK, if it's that important to you.
I told him, Yak, on Monday, I said, how come he doesn't bring the same enthusiasm to the radio show? I want to hear the same, if he's making a good point, I want to hear the same enthusiasm as if a goal was scored.
Yeah,
or an almost happened.
That's not great radio.
It'd be outstanding radio. What are you talking about? I mean, we're in our 25th year. Pretty much anything we do is outstanding radio.
Well, you might have a point there. But I did hear that in my early days in radio on a show right across the hallway. And I heard multiple times, those two shouldn't be doing that. It's not going to work. One of them's going to get fired. And sure enough, it happened.
Well, as long as it's not me getting fired, I don't care.
Your brilliant career advice gets me whacked. Awesome. Utah Royals try to continue their win streak. They got Angel City tomorrow night, and you can listen to that on The Zone. Those games will be back-to-back on 97.5 The Zone. That is what is trending. It's brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up, David Locke's here at 8:30. Pablo Mastroeni joins us at 9. Cole Bagley talking Mammoth in the playoffs at 9:30. We got more on the question today. The Utah Mammoth, can they win Game 7? We'll get to that next. Right here. DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.